Welcome back to another War Thunder video. Today I've got some mid-tier gameplay for you. So this is the Whirlwind P.9. It sits in the British tech tree at 3.7 battle rating, although the one I'm flying here is actually the premium variant, so I picked this up in one of the events last year. It's basically the same plane, just with premium boosters. But yeah, I haven't got round to actually flying the Whirlwind until now, so we're going to be taking it for a spin. Honestly, I wasn't really expecting that much the way Allied teams have been lately. I just wasn't really looking forward to this at all. But yeah, it turns out to be somewhat of an interesting game. I'm going to be getting into one or two duels with 109s. We do also end up baiting two 109s for a friendly P.39 later on. So yeah, the Whirlwind. What is this plane all about? Well, to begin with, this is a twin heavy fighter. It gets 4 Mark 1 Hispano cannons, not the best guns in the game by any means, but unlike the early Mustang where the Mark 1 Hispanos are all wing mounted, all 4 are actually mounted in the nose on the Whirlwind. So provided you can actually hit things with these, they're all going to converge together, and you're going to do a fair bit of damage because, Hispanos all hitting in the same location, they're going to rip wings off, destroy engines, set fires up, and all sorts of bad things. So yeah, they're not bad, and like I say, coupled with the twin engines on this plane, it's got a bit of weight to it. It's really not a bad boom and zoomer. It climbs back up, and it retains the energy very well in both the vertical and the horizontal. I have to say it's also surprisingly agile for a heavy fighter, which actually makes this a decent dogfighter, provided you have the initial energy advantage, which you should do anyway, because this actually gets a air spawn at the beginning, and you make use of your attack angles, so your basic trajectory. You can make quick work of most fighters. 109s are a bit tricky, but I do wind up killing a few here. So, the gameplay. I see my team getting decimated here. Allied teams, that's typically the way it goes. And I figure, what the hell, I'll just try and save these guys down here. They've got a couple of 109s diving on them. So, I make the decision to make chase here, and I'm kind of ignoring the Focke-Wulf 190 behind me. If he wants to follow me down here, he's more than welcome to. I'd rather bait him down low, where I've got teammates. Provided I can actually save them, that is. So, yeah, I'm kind of reluctant to go down there still. But like I say, Allied teams, they just get you into this way of thinking. And one thing you do have to be aware of in this plane is the rip speed and the control stiffening. So, it starts to lock up at around 600, and it actually rips at around 680. And yeah, I cut it very close here. I must have been right on the edge there. Fortunately, I'm just about able to pull out of it, take the plane up and over to come round for another attack. And I was actually going for the guy in front with the blue smoke, but fortunately this guy just kind of falls in front of my nose, and I'm able to get some hits in there. And that's the first kill of the game. So the other 1-9, we still got him to deal with. I'm just going to take him up into the spiral, give him a very small profile to shoot at there by angling my wings. And we briefly pitch down there just to pick up some speed so we can avoid this other 109. And I didn't know it at the time, but we actually have a friendly P.39 approaching. So we start the bait here by going straight up, and that allows the P.39 to take him out really easy. So he gets a perfect kill there. And he actually gets both of them there, thanks to my slowing them down. And that's kind of the way you've got to play allies. Teamwork goes a long way. So, there's just a couple of us left at this point. There's myself, this Spitfire, and of course the P63. and they still have 5 left, so it's 3v5. I have a good look around before engaging these two 190s that we see in front. You know, it's always a good idea to get your situation awareness back, just make sure nobody's lurking in the clouds. You know, 9 times out of 10 there's always somebody up there that still hasn't joined the fight, especially playing against Germany. You know, those 109s, they really like to climb. But yeah, on this occasion it appears that nobody's up there. So we make pursuit of these 190s. You know, they're shooting the AI at the moment. And to be honest, 190s are really not that much of a threat anymore. You know, back in the day they used to be very versatile. They could do just about everything. But these days, you know, they lose the speed very quick, they lose their energy when they climb. And they've got an average turn rate even with the flaps. So, you know, they're just not that dangerous. I see the other 190 as kind of bailed on this guy, so I take advantage of this. You know, I'd rather deal with a 1v1 than a 2v1. So, we're going to get this guy while he's on his own. And I don't know what he was doing, whether he was focused on AI, I don't know, but he just kept flying straight. And we're able to get some good hits in there, set him on fire. And that's going to be the second kill of the game. So, the other 190, he apparently returned to base since he's nowhere in sight. So, I'm just going to climb back up and head towards their base, circle the base, and just, you know, just wait for them to take off again. And guys, here's a lesson for you. Always bring more fuel than you need. You know, you never know when you're going to need it in battle. You just don't know what's going to happen. So I brought 30 minutes here, and this is going to allow me to stay up much longer. So I'm going to get an advantageous position over everybody here. You know, the enemy clearly only brought 20 minutes, and that means they're all headed back now. So it means a lot to bring 30 minutes. It can be the difference between winning and losing. And, you know, it's only 10 minutes extra. Doesn't make you playing that much heavier, so I'd rather bring it personally. It's not going to affect your performance that much. So in my opinion, definitely bring 30 minutes. So I do see the Do 217 over there. I mean, I don't really deem bombers and attackers a threat until late game, to be fair. Yeah, okay, if the tickets were a bit closer, I would have been over there to get him. But he crashes anyway. So we're just gonna watch their base now. I'm looking for the tiny dots. So when you see me spinning the camera around, I'm actually just looking for them. So it's actually difficult to see on the recording here, but we do have 2 black dots just below us there, passing over the lake. The river, sorry, not lake, what am I on about? But yeah, we've actually got 2 dots down there, and that's what we've been looking for. So those dots are obviously their planes taking off from the airfield, and I'm going to let them get a fair distance away from their airfield. You know, let them feel confident that they're safe before we actually jump on them, otherwise they're just going to run back to the base. Which is fair enough. You know, it is a valid tactic. I'm not a fan of it myself, but it is the way the game is played. And another tip for you guys as well, if you are circling the airfield like this, try and keep your distance. You know, the worst thing you can do is give away your position. Most people, they fly right over it and the AAA starts firing, which just makes it blatantly obvious that you're up there. And if you do that, the enemy is just not going to take off, full stop. And this was a bit of a surprise. We actually have a 109 on almost equal altitude with us here. So he must have been hiding somewhere in the clouds possibly. And he's actually going to focus on the Spitfire. I guess the 109 pilot didn't deem the Whirlwind as much of a threat. But yeah, I'm going to follow basic trajectory angles here, and just look what happens. So we're in a heavy fighter and he's in a 109. Just watch what happens here. So he takes out the Spitfire. I'd say we're both on roughly the same energy, the same speed at this point. I try and turn into him. I realise just in time that I can't complete it, so I switch to lag pursuit. Take him in the vertical. Cut into his turn at the top. And we actually get a good shot into his engine and his wing there. So we actually just beat a 109 at his own game in the vertical by using angles and cutting into his turn at the top like I did there. So yeah, the Whirlwind is really something. There's not many heavy fighters that can pull that kind of thing off. So yeah, he's going to end up crashing, and that's going to be the third kill of the game. Now we do still have this other 109 to deal with here. He's the one that just took off from the airfield, so we do know we have at least a bit of an energy advantage over this guy. So we can play somewhat more aggressively here. So I go up and over. No messing around. We want to put the pressure on him at this stage. Keep him pressured. So I make another diving attack. It's not necessarily, I'm not going to commit to it as you see there. It's just to put pressure on him. Remember, as long as they're under pressure, they can't think, oh, that's the way I think of it. So I'm able to pull lead here. Get some hits into him. Some kind of a crit there, I guess that was a flap. And I don't directly follow him, I go back up into the vertical. Cut throttle to prevent myself from overshooting. Now he is a G series, G2 trop. So we do have to watch him for using the vertical here. He's got that powerful engine. But we did manage to get some hits in the first few passes, so you know, I'm confident he's at least somewhat damaged, and that lets us play, you know, a bit more aggressively again, a bit more risky. And on this second merge, he just turned right into us. Don't know what he was thinking. He may have been avoiding the P.9, P.63. And yeah, that's going to be the fourth kill. So we just got 4 kills in a heavy fighter, and most of them are 109s. So it's not a bad plane at all. We're not done yet though. So at this point, you know, we've got no ammo. We've got fuel still, but it's no good having fuel and no ammo. So it's time to head back to the base, refuel and rearm. I'll go ahead, skip this section over, and I'll bring you back shortly. Alright, we're back, and the last guy turned out to be a HE219. You don't get to see these very often, and for good reason. For those of you that don't know what these planes are, the HE219 is the big premium plane. I believe it's got 230s, 220s in the nose, and possibly another 230s in the wings or something, so it packs a bit of a punch. And you know, it kind of goes without saying that you don't want to get anywhere near the front of that thing because it's going to wreck you. But as long as you avoid doing anything stupid against this, it's really not that big of a threat. For one, it's a big heavy plane, doesn't climb or turn very well, and it's also lacking any kind of rear turret defense, so really it's just easy pickings in my opinion. You know, it's something I would never fly personally. Maybe just for a bit of fun. I mean, the only time you really have to be wary of the HE219 is at the beginning of the battle, since they actually get an air spawn. But on the deck, like he was there, he had nowhere to go. And yeah, I was able to take him out without any contention really. And that's going to be the end of the game. A 5-kill ace game, and that brings us to the end of the video. So, as always, I hope you enjoyed the gameplay. I'll be doing a lot more mid-tier gameplay from now on. Possibly try the Spitfire again soon now that I've sorted out my controls and my aiming issues. I'm also going to try and do a regular live stream schedule, so try and listen out for that in your notifications. And thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.